What up? It's Jimmy from odds.com. This is a clip from our big NCAA football opening lines show. If you want to watch the entire show, hit the link on the bottom of the screen. It's available exclusively on odds.com. Ohio State, Illinois game. I loved the call on Indiana. It was an extremely enjoyable game to watch. And Dan Kelly had Indiana money line at plus 705. And that almost came through. And Indiana showed a ton of heart. And Ohio State looked vulnerable defensively, very vulnerable defensively. Yeah. Ohio State, number 3 ranked Ohio State, 4-0, 4-0 in the Big Ten. At Illinois, 2-3, 2-3 in the Big Ten. Champaign, Illinois, 44 Fahrenheit on Saturday at 12 p.m. Sunny and 9 miles per hour is the wind. Where do I have the odds? Why aren't they here? Can't I find it? I don't know why I can't find it. I'll pull them up in a second here. Okay. Ohio State coming off 42-35 win at home over Indiana. That scares me. There's not a cancellation. No, okay, good. Ohio State coming off 42-35 win at home over Indiana. 3 minutes into the third quarter, they were up 35-7, and they had to hold on for a 42-35 victory. Justin Fields looks questionable. Looked questionable at times for the first time all year. 18 of 30, 300 yards, 2 TDs, 3 interceptions, and 2 of the interceptions were horrifyingly bad decisions. Illinois coming off their second straight win, their most impressive game of the year, in a 41-23 win at Nebraska. They are vulnerable against the run, 194.6 yards per game. And the tide changed early in the Ohio State-Indiana game when Ohio State started focusing on the run. Ohio State runs for 233.3 yards per game and gains a total of 535.3 yards per game. Let's see what we are dealing with here. And let me pull up the odds on odds.com here. If you want Ohio, God, it's not here either. Oh, there we go. If you want Ohio State, they're 27 or 28-point favorites. I just wonder if that's too much. Let's go to John, little Big Ten action here.
Well, Ohio State, I watched that game film this morning, and the back end of their secondary is poor. Purix exploited it time and time again in that comeback, and there was multiple missed assignments. Like you said, Justin Fields appeared to be a little off sync. I thought the back end of the defense was twice as bad as Fields being out of sync and making some really, really poor decisions. But you have to ask yourself the question, does Illinois have an offense that can exploit that the way the Hoosiers did? And I guess my answer would have to be no. Illinois is 9-24 against the spread when facing a suspect defense that's allowing 250 or more passing yards per game in all games they've played since 2000. So granted, that's not this group of 4-year college students or student athletes, but it does give you a trend of how difficult it has been for Illinois, even if they're going up against a suspect secondary. They're also 4-13 in home games when facing what I would call an elite passing team averaging 275 or more yards per game since 2000. So those two on both sides of the ball are working against them, regardless of what the number is. And then we get down to the projections here. And as you alluded to, Jimmy, Illinois has real trouble stopping the run. And I ran just a quick projection. I didn't run the full-blown model, but there's a very high probability that Ohio State gains 300 or more rushing yards in this game. That's a lot. And when they have done that, because I know everybody wants to know, they are 5-0 the last 3 years and 35-7-1 the last 10 years. And let's see if I have how Indiana or Illinois is when they allow 300. Let's see.
It's going to be ugly.
Yeah, I do have it. Check this out. Illinois, when they allowed 300 or more rushing yards, 1-7 last 3 years, 6-40 the last 10 years. That sums it up. I'm looking at these numbers, and the line really doesn't matter then. If the line was 22 or 30, this data set, the multiple data sets that I just went over, tell you to take Ohio State.
I like it. Real Jolly Roger saying John Ryan's sport machine is on fire lately. Brady says Ohio State is just not in full game shape. They have extended time off, then another week off. They're just not in shape to play a full game. Second half bet fading Ohio State makes sense. Let's move over to Nolly Nose here. Ohio State, Illinois, Big Ten action.
Yeah, real ugly once again. You know, a lot of yards, a lot of points being scored in these games. Some that I don't like to see. But the one thing that you do see is that Ohio State has been able to do pretty well against the run. And that's something that Illinois relies heavily on. They're running 43 times a game for 223 yards. They're going to have a much tougher time. And when you watch that game against Indiana, what Indiana did, they kind of abandoned the run altogether and sat back and threw the ball over 50 times. And they exploited the secondary, some that I don't expect Illinois to be able to do. Being said, when I talk about the points and how they've been able to just go over and over, I think they've adjusted here with the total. The total is close to 70. I think that's getting a little bit too high. I expect the public to continue to hit it up, but I don't expect Illinois to put up that many points here. I'd be leaning towards the under if it goes up a couple more points, but not really a game that I like getting involved with.
Interesting take. CMac back in action. This is the first game. We're going to get into your best bets right after the CMac. Ohio State, Illinois.
Yeah, I lean Illinois, but I like Nolly a little bit. I think that total's going too high. I think Ohio State, I think they need to get back to practice. And that pass defense was horrible. I thought Penix would do good. I mean, he threw all over 500 yards. So I think the total's gotten a little too high, too. I'd lean to the under. I kind of like 28.5's a lot on the road. I don't really have a side. I'd love to take the points there. I definitely don't want to lay it. I think it's too many.